Famously known as the City of Palaces, currently Mysore is one of the most important world tourist places in the country pertaining to ancient reigns. The proud architecturally beautiful palaces add gaiety and great visual treat to the city of Mysore. Mysore Palace is one of the most beautiful and sought after tourists among them. It is also known as Ambavilas Palace. This historically popular palace is the official residence of the then rulers Wadiyars. Its rich heritage draws millions of tourists all year round. The highlight is the majestic Mysore Palace, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Wadiyar kings constructed their first palace in the 14th century, but subsequently this palace was destroyed many a times and reconstructed. The construction of the present palace commenced in the year 1897. Even though the construction was completed in the year 1912, the palace could get its present glorification only by 1940s. It is recorded that this prime tourist spot is visited by over 27 lakh tourists every year from India and abroad. Mysore Palace is built in the Indo-Saracenic style with a touch of Hindu, Mughal, Rajput and Gothic architectural styles. It is a great pride to know that the exotic paintings are creations of the great painter King Raja Ravi Varma. British architecture and Vastu expert Henry Irwin designed and completed this palace in 1912. Surrounded by sprawling green gardens, this three-storied palace, along with the 145-feet 5-story tower, was built using fine grey granite while deep pink marble was used for the domes. There are 12 temples inside the palace complex, the oldest being constructed in the 14th century and the one built in 1953 is the newest one. Mysore Palace is the venue for the splendor of celebration, the Dasera festival. Brindavan Gardens. The majesty of these gardens attract tourists from all over to enjoy the bizarre plants and flowers apart from the lush green lawns. The Brindavan Gardens is a garden located at Srirangapatnam, 12 kilometers from the city of Mysore in the Mandya district of the Indian state of Karnataka. It lies adjoining the Krishnarajasagara Dam, which is built across the river Kaveri. The work on laying out this garden was started in the year 1927 and completed in 1932. Sir Mirza Ismail, the Diwan of Mysore, a man with a penchant for gardens, created the Brindavan Gardens, Krishnarajasagara Dam in particular, and built the Kaveri River high-level canal to irrigate 120,000 acres or 490 kilometers square in modern Mandya district. Spread over 60 acres, this garden is no doubt a heaven and a visual treat for children and adults alike who are passionate about lovely plants and rare fabulous flowers, colorful fountains and swanky green lawns. Boating through the water body is undoubtedly a great unforgettable feel for everyone. The garden is enriched with innumerable musical fountains decorated with colored lighting, The illuminated running waters and fountains with changing colors of lights is an event that tourists can look forward to in the evenings. More than 10 lakh tourists visit here annually. Needless to mention, Brindavan is a heaven on earth with its astonishing ambience. Saint Philomenas Cathedral is a Catholic church that is the cathedral of the Diocese of Mysore, India. This is one of the tallest churches in Asia. The full name is the Cathedral of St. Joseph and St. Philomena. It is also known as St. Joseph's Cathedral. It was constructed in 1936 using a neo-Gothic style, and its architecture was inspired by the Cologne Cathedral in Germany. Its divinity in ambience gives a feel of pleasant devotion. Saint Philomena is a Latin Catholic saint and martyr of the Roman Catholic Church. The remains of a teenage girl, no older than 14, were discovered on 24th May 1802 in the catacombs of St. Priscilla at the Via Salaria in Rome. Accompanying these remains were a set of tiles bearing a fragmented inscription containing the words of no known meaning in that order. The letters were rearranged to read Pax Tecum Philomena, which in Latin translates to Peace with you, Philomena. Also, some symbols of her martyrdom and a vessel containing dry blood was also found in the tomb. From these discoveries, it was concluded that the teenage girl named Philomena was buried in the tomb, and the vessel containing blood was thought to be her relic and evidence of a martyr's death. In 1926, Sir T. Tumbu Chetty, who was the Huzur's secretary to the Maharaja of Mysore, Nalavadi Krishnaraja Vodiyar, obtained a relic of the saint from Peter Paisani, apostolic delegate of the East Indies. This relic was handed over to Father Cochet, who approached the Mysore king to assist him in constructing a church in the honor of Saint Philomena. The foundation stone for the construction of the cathedral was laid by the King of Mysore on 28 October 1933. The construction of the church was completed under Bishop René Fugger's supervision. This cathedral was built in the neo-Gothic style with inspiration drawn from the Cologne Cathedral. The relic of Saint Philomena is preserved in a catacomb below the main altar. The twin spires of the church are 175 feet, 53 meters in height, and they resemble the spires of Cologne Cathedral and also the spires of the St. Patrick's Church in New York City. This church is a good example of blending local culture. Some of the female statues are dressed in the local traditional dress, the saree. The main hall contains stained glass windows depicting scenes from the birth of Christ, the Last Supper, the crucifixion, the resurrection, and the ascension of Christ. St. Philomena's Church, considered to be Asia's second largest church, built upon a double foundation: divine compassion and the eager gratitude of men. Mysore Railway Museum is the second museum of its kind in India, established by Indian Railways in 1979. This museum boasts of a rich collection of photographs and various items depicting various stages in the development of Indian Railways, along with a captivating exhibit of vintage locomotives. This museum is formed in line with the Railway Museum in New Delhi. It is located on the Krishnaraja Sagar Road, KRS Road, standing opposite to the CFT Research Institute. One of the major attractions of the museum is the Chamundi Gallery, which has an extensive range of pictures and paintings on the railways and its growth on display. Apart from the railway signals and lights, there is a battery-operated mini train for children to go around. Sriranga Pavilion is another prominent part of this museum. It has two royal coaches on display. These grand coaches that belong to the Maharaja of Mysore present a real picture of the luxury and grandeur with which the royals used to travel. A wooden pillar from the old Srirangapattanam railway station, old wire fence and steam locomotives are exhibited. Many old motor cars are also exhibited here, one of which is being utilized as a ticket counter. The uniqueness of this museum are the man-made machines which were in use for years. Needless to mention, children and adults will enjoy their time going around this railway museum. Jagan Mohan Palace is one among the 7 fabulous palaces in Mysore. This palace, the completion of which was in 1861, was formerly an alternative royal residence of the Wadiyars, the Maharaja of Mysore. After a long period of disputes and litigation, the deposed Maharaja Krishnaraja Wadiyar III commissioned the building of a large mansion with several public and private courtyards for the use of his family and retainers at a site which was a short distance from the grounds of his old palace, which is the present Jagan Mohan Palace. The new palace was designed to have a lighter, more modern look and a more comfortable internal layout. It was thus built with brick and mortar, reflecting many architectural embellishments often made of valuable wood and precious stones. The palace is built in traditional Hindu style and has 3 stories. In 1900, an external facade with the Royal Auditorium Hall behind was added to the palace. This facade has 3 entrances, and the entablature has religious motifs and miniature temples crafted on it. The olden day celebrations of Dasera is depicted in wall painting at this palace. Colors extracted from vegetables are used to create this exquisite artwork. A family tree of the Wadiyars tracing the lineage of the royal family is also painted on a wall in the palace. 2 wooden artifacts displaying the Dashavatara, the 10 incarnations of Lord Vishnu, are also present in the palace. The art gallery contains one of the largest collection of artifacts in South India. Most of these artifacts are paintings, prominent among which are those by Raja Ravi Verma, some of which demonstrate scenes from the Hindu epics such as the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Other exhibits here include weapons of war, musical instruments, sculptures, brassware, antique coins and currencies. An auditorium which is normally used for singing and dancing programs during the Dasara celebrations. Sri Chamarajendra Zoological Gardens, the Mysore Zoo, was created from the private menagerie of Chamaraja Wadiyar X, the 23rd Maharaja of Mysore in 1892. Primarily, this zoo was called Khasa Bangle or private bungalow. Even though this zoo was meant for the royal family, public entry was allowed from 1920 onwards. Spread over an area of 250 acres, Sri Chamarajendra Zoological Gardens is the most popular zoo in Karnataka and one of the oldest zoos in the world. Exceptional species of birds and animals from 25 countries can be seen here. Sri Chamarajendra Zoological Gardens is one of the most sought-after tourist spots in Karnataka.